So it's kind of funny. Seops has a wallbang issue, but I don't think the issue with that is actually the wallbang. Sounds a bit convoluted, sounds a bit weird, but let me explain. So, Legacy used to be my favorite map in the game. Mainly because it was the most tactical, most team play based map, tons of util stuff. Like, it was very limited as far as util is concerned, but what you could do with util really, really paid off. Nowadays, same with most of the community actually, I really dislike playing Legacy, and that has one very straightforward reason, and that is wallbangs. But if I sat here and said, oh, I don't like wallbanging is horrible, please remove wallbanging, please fix this, fix that, it wouldn't really be all that productive, because I don't think wallbanging is the issue. There's multiple types of wallbanging, and only one of those kinda is the issue. So, what is that distinction between different wallbangs in the first place? So, there are lineup wallbangs, which I don't think are problematic. For example, I could come out of spawn, go right here, have a single shotgun like the Deagle, and then go, hey, I think at 1 minute 50 left on the clock, someone is going to be right behind here, then I shoot, then I hit the tap, then I get the kill, then I'm happy. If I only slightly mess up my timing, shoot too early, shoot too late, the enemy might be here still, or might already be here, and I miss. If I mess up my crosshair placement and I'm too far to the right, I miss. If I'm too high, I miss. If I'm too low, I hit the body and deal a lot less damage. All not really ideal, doesn't get me to where I want to be. Now, that's pretty important as a distinction compared to the way that Seops does it. Which is effectively, you go here, you think, oh, early round, they're gonna have to get out of spawn somehow. You just spam this for like 3 seconds, and if anyone walks out of spawn in that specific time frame, they either die instantly or get a lot of damage dealt to them. This isn't the only issue, however. There is one more thing that is often understated, and that's the difference between cover and concealment. That difference is fairly obvious. Behind cover, you're safe. Behind concealment, you're only really not showing them the position that you're in, but you're still vulnerable all the same. Concealment, for example, is a smoke grenade, but concealment is also all cover in Seops. This makes it so that multi-frag potential is very low in Seops. This means, if I hold an angle like this, I see an enemy, I either kill them or shoot them low, and then I vanish back into cover. I mean, if you look at it from this side, the guy was just here, he's not visible anywhere here, so where do you think he is? Probably somewhere behind here.
You've just won £1 million! Unbelievable! You've done it!
And the most common consensus would probably be to just do something like this, and if any of those shots hit, my round is over, because if my Kevlar breaks, half the guns in the game deal a lot more damage now. For example, a revolver deals 98 damage to the body without Kevlar on. A TRG deals 100 plus damage to the body without Kevlar on, compared to the, I think, like 73 that it deals with Kevlar on. Basically, this just turned a $1,900 gun into a $4,500 gun in the ratio, because they now effectively work the same. But this is also a mechanics issue. If I see a guy in the open right here, and I want to kill them after they've gone behind the cover, rather than having to, I don't know, shoot them while they're still in the open, then I retreat, then I repick, and then I kind of like spam the thing, I can either just track them behind the cover, or I do what I said before, but then just spam the whole cover and give them no way out, really. Now, how have all of these issues affected Legacy? I think that's fairly important to mention as well. So, Ts cannot get out of spawn, effectively, because as soon as you go out here, you're getting spammed from glass. That's bad. But like, you could go close left here and pretty much avoid most of it unless they spam like this very specific angle. Granted, we'll revisit glass in a second. Then we have double doors. If I go through here early round, I get spammed from here. If I wait instead, either here or like kinda here, where I'm mostly in cover, I will have to cross this whole thing late round. If I cross this, I get spotted from top, and if top guy spots me once, they can just trace me while I'm still behind the door, probably hit me once or twice. Probably means my round is over, or much rather, the TRG is now the U ratio. That's also something that's not particularly good. Now, if we revisit glass again, what mainly results from all this wallbanging is a lot of uncertainty for the Ts. Because the way that glass used to be played was, one CT plays glass either here, back then this corner was bigger so you could kind of play here as well. I think that still works, but you see like an arm or something. You play glass close. Why do you do that? Well, very straightforward reason. If you already know that enemies are coming by jiggling here, this gives you a 5-second difference between knowing only once they get to here. That 5 seconds difference means the way that Legacy works, this is a very short rotate, but it's risky because enemies could catch it off guard. And the CT one is a very long rotate. So by having this early info, your team can collectively afford to rotate over CT, which is less risky, and less risky is what you want in a tactical first-person shooter. So TLDR, CT controlling glass, very powerful. These days, not as powerful anymore, because once you're spotted or even suspected in glass, on your way out, Ts are gonna spam the shit out of you, and that's not good for business. But on T side, that means you can now contest glass a lot easier. I will be very honest to you, I don't have a single lineup from glass anymore. And that has a very straightforward reason. You can't really throw util in from glass, and the reason for that is, once you're suspected here, you're getting wallbanged to shit. Once one of your teammates jiggles this, gets spotted in any context, you're getting wallbanged from like 83 different angles, and there's pretty much no place in all of glass where you're both safe from wallbangs and not open. A similar situation applies to all the bottom area, but I think it's a bit overkill to go through all of this now. So, what has caused all of this? And what's the best way of fixing it? Well, what's caused all of this is that we don't have a lot of nuance when it comes to wallbanging. If you look at the intel page, for example, you can see in object penetration that every single gun in the game has either weak or strong. Weak basically means you can wallbang just about nothing, and strong means you can wallbang just about everything. And if you go through the guns here, you will see that every gun that isn't a deagle, a revolver, an assault rifle, or a sniper has weak, and all of the others have strong. This means an SA-58 can wallbang the same stuff as a U-ratio. I hope I don't have to convince you too long that this doesn't make a lot of sense, because I think a sniper that basically has the wallbang impact of this shouldn't be able to wallbang the same things and deal the same damage as something that can do this. So what's the easiest way of fixing this? Well, pretty straightforward. Rather than having weak and strong, you have weak, medium, and strong basically gets separated into guns that shoot full auto and guns that don't. Full auto goes into medium, and all the single shot stuff stays in strong. That also gives auto snipers a purpose again. Who would have known? But this might be open to interpretation now, because what if you go, okay, well, I think the lineup wallbangs are still way too strong, and maybe this gun shouldn't wallbang that, and maybe that gun shouldn't wallbang this either. I would like to tell you, I play COD Mobile, and there's stuff like this, and I don't think it's very problematic because it has counterplay. There is a counter wallbang for that specific angle, and you can dodge the wallbang if you know that it's coming. Now, the only counterplay for COPS wallbangs, the way that they currently work, is to not exist, or to not contest an area which is going to guaranteed lose you the round because you're giving CTs way too much control. You might say, now, okay, yeah, well, but that's Call of Duty, this is COPS, this is a whole different thing. Sure, let's talk about CS then. The way CS handles it, and has handled it for a very long time, is that assault rifles are only really able to accurately spray into one place for like the first 5 bullets. So if I want to wallbang this in CS, rather than going all of this and covering all of this area, what I kind of have to do is to shoot short bursts. So this is a bit less timing based than doing it with a single shotgun like a revolver or a deagle, but in the grand scheme of things, it kind of balances out to the same point. So why couldn't I just full spray this? Well, because while after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets, my bullets are still going somewhere here, at some point in the spray, I have to aim down here to make my bullets go up here. And that's something that's very difficult to track on moving targets. It's also the recoil itself, which is difficult. It's not just aiming down here and bullets go up here. The recoil is like a bit more complex. So basically, rather than just point and click adventuring enemies through the wall, I have to keep in mind where the recoil takes my spray and how I have to adjust my crosshair to counteract for that, as well as the enemy movement. And that's a lot more difficult than, you know, as I said, just you know. What's the chances of us ever seeing mechanics this complex on mobile? Very, very low. Do I even want that to happen? I don't know. I would have to play it to tell you if I like it or not. But in general, the much easier way of fixing this is to give object penetration a bit more nuance. How do you feel about wallbanging? Like, personally, am I just waffling shit? Am I making this up? Is this not a real issue? Is wallbanging actually like super cool and we like wallbanging and yay wallbanging? Or do I have a point? Do you maybe have a better solution? I would like to hear it. Probably devs would as well if you're already at it. I don't have much else to talk to you about. Use code part2, subscribe to my OnlyFans, and have a great day.